Hello, my name is Stuart Loughridge. Cardboard as a substrate. A substrate is a material you paint upon. So often canvas prepared with a gesso and a ground, a board prepared properly with a ground so that paint can bind to it and not be absorbed into the wood. Cardboard is ubiquitous and it's a lot of fun to paint on. You probably see cardboard sticking out of the recycle bins around the neighborhoods, in big dumpsters that are recycle only. There's some great pieces of cardboard. You get a shipment, and that side of the box can make a great little piece for a painting, little size, just a small format. Or you can get a big piece. I often drop by frame shops and they receive boxes of glass, and these pieces of cardboard, after they're done using the glass, these large pieces of cardboard can be taken back to the studio, and I can do sometimes, maybe 36 by 40 inch cartoons, as I call them, on this cardboard. So there's a few things to keep in mind when you're digging and rummaging around and cutting up boxes and looking for cardboard to paint on. There is a kind of run-of-the-mill cheap cardboard, single corrugated, and it has quite the ripples from that corrugation. It's a very thin layer of cardboard on top, and you can see those ripples. I prefer to find a cardboard that's more smooth and double corrugated, but you can jump in to whatever you want and not be too attached to the product. Here's a double corrugated sheet of cardboard with a smooth surface. And again, this came from a packing box I just cut up, and there's the double corrugation and that smooth surface. The other side of this piece of cardboard does have the textures from the corrugation. So I will choose to paint on that smooth surface. This is a nice piece of cardboard. If I can acquire these at about 30 by 40 inch size, I cherish them, put them upstairs, and I use them like crazy for any ideas. Here's a painting I did on a double corrugated piece of cardboard. You can see the double corrugation there. And the back side has those ripples. But the front side is fairly smooth. That's the side I painted on. Has a few dings. I've dropped it a few times since I painted this. Again, the idea is not to be too attached to these, but to crank them out, make them fast, and cut them down, fit them into frames that you want to get rid of, and, give them as gifts even.
Hey, sorry for the interruption, but Emily here, and I want to tell you about a super cool offer that I have for you from Craftsy. If you don't know what Craftsy is, it is an online community with resource of millions of creative and like-minded makers where members can find endless inspiration, advance the skills you already have, or discover a new favorite hobby or craft that you've always wanted to try. Craftsy offers more than 2,000 exciting classes in over 20 popular categories, everything from sewing and crochet to baking and painting. The classes are broken down into easy-to-follow lessons and are led by friendly, award-winning instructors like me who share creativity, wisdom, and provide step-by-step tutorials. I loved Ashley Huff's sewing class on how to sew super cute skirts. I'm not much of a garment sewer myself, but she had so many approachable tips and tricks on how to make this pattern so easy with her instruction. And I also loved Brenda KB Anderson's crochet class on how to crochet rainbow home decor because, let's be honest, who doesn't love a giant rainbow pillow? She also had some amazing tips on how to turn your work when making curves in crochet. I got so inspired by Heather Thomas's class on creative finishing and edging for her quilt, and she reminded me just how awesome and fun it can be to embellish the finished edges of your quilts. She also taught me a new method for how to make the corners of my quilts even more precise. And a huge thank you to Craftsy for sponsoring today's video. The cool thing is though, as a Craftsy member, you will also have access to live stream tutorials where experts answer questions, share tips, and engage with the Craftsy community in real time, which I absolutely love. So the first 1,000 people to click on the link in the video description will get a full year of premium membership for Craftsy for only $1.49. So click the link below and let's get creative together.
Here is a expensive piece of cardboard, just to say you can really step it up. This is archival acid-free cardboard. It's expensive, comes in light gray. As far as I know, it only comes in light gray. And this is more for archivists who work in art preservation, maybe museums. You can, if you really get into painting on cardboard and you don't want to paint on the acidic surface of cardboard, because cardboard is acidic, it has formaldehydes in it, generally chemicals in it, then it's not meant to it's not meant to last long. It is non-archival. Well, this is an archival piece of cardboard. Again, it's expensive. It's double corrugated. But it does have ripples on it as well. The non-archival cardboard has smoother surfaces to paint on but it's a very slight ripple on this archival cardboard. I've acquired a few sheets of this, and again, I get attached to it. So I always hesitate. It's like, oh, I shouldn't paint this painting on this nice archival cardboard. And that's what we're trying to avoid. We just want to keep the creative juices flowing, keep the urge to create unblocked, and jump into anything you have, and that's why cardboard is a great medium. Another easy to acquire and affordable substrate is this is 8-ply mat board. And most frame shops, nearly all frame shops, will carry 8-ply mat board. They have scraps sitting around. There's 2-ply, 4-ply, and 8-ply. You can see that the 8-ply is quite thick. It's rigid. It can take some of the water and the gouache medium that we'll be using. It comes in many colors, and it is archival. So you can get it to be a brown or a cream and jump into painting on a toned surface. That is one of the benefits of working on cardboard, is that it is a brown surface. It has a nice tone to work on. I call it cardboard brown. And your whites pop off of it quite nice. And so it's just a brief run on the substrate of cardboard, and keep your eye out for the good stuff.